snakes. So chapter 4. Moses is still dialoguing with God, right? God has commissioned him as a prophet. He said, go and tell my people and tell the Pharaoh that I am setting them free. But Moses is still anxious, right? He's worried that no one's going to believe him. Right? If you go and tell someone that, hey, God said that I should go and be your leader, I should be your ruler, or I should do these things, and it involves you, and you should just let me do them, people might be skeptical, right? If you're going to go to the Pharaoh and say, hey, I'm going to take your entire workforce, and we're going to go away for a while. The Pharaoh doesn't want that, right? Even the people that Moses is going to go and tell the Hebrews that, hey, I'm coming to set you free, they're going to be skeptical, like, okay, God sent you, right? God sent you. I think I've heard your name before. Moses, was it? I feel like I've heard a story about you, haven't seen you in a few decades. Who's to say that God sent you? And God is merciful in that fear that Moses has. In fact, God shows Moses a little bit of grace, and he gives him two signs in order to show the people that God really did send him. Two miraculous, supernatural signs that no one could have done. No, not a magic trick, not just sleight of hand, not pick a card and I'll figure out which one it is. Not even like David Blaine style, like I'm going to float in the air with a bunch of balloons and how amazing that is. Like, this is two miraculous signs that only God could do. One, he's going to turn a staff to a serpent, right? A snake, which I hate snakes, so it's the worst idea ever, but it's pretty crazy. I mean, miraculously crazy to say that this staff can become a snake and then become a staff again, right? A stick becomes this living creature. That's crazy, but that's amazing. Can you imagine witnessing that? And the second is similar. Moses is going to stick his hand in his cloak and it's going to come out and it's going to be leprous. Right? Leprosy was this disease that continues to eat away at the flesh, and there's signs and symbols of what it is on a person decaying. And then he can stick his hand back into his cloak and be healed with fresh, new skin. But these are two miracles that God gives Moses to show the people, to show the Pharaoh, to say, this is who I am, Moses, the prophet of the one true God, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, the God who has made a covenant promise with these people, the Hebrews, and I'm going to deliver them. Let my people go. Now that is the power of God. But the power of God is to give his messengers witness and testimony to share, but then the power also sometimes to show that God is the one giving that message. And ultimately, we see this in Jesus' ministry as well, to show that he wasn't just someone with a good ability to teach, to show that he wasn't just someone who could be kind to others, to show that Jesus was God in the flesh. His ministry was marked with healing the sick, the blind, with the caring and providing for people in miraculous ways, the hungry being fed, large crowds with very small amounts of food being divided and divided and divided in this miraculous way. Jesus showed that he was God in the flesh with his miraculous acts, and ultimately, the most and the pinnacle of the miraculous acts being his resurrection. The physical world was not a limitation for Christ. He was able to overcome the physical world. Whatever barriers we might have in our own minds, he had control over, and even death couldn't hold him. That is hope for us, because that means that when we are in Christ, death cannot hold us. It is not a prison sentence for us at the end of our lives to come before God and to be chained in bondage in death. We have been set free. Because Jesus wasn't just a good teacher. He wasn't just a wise guy. Jesus is God.